I'm in a predominantly white boarding school, and it was a massive, massive shock for me. I was there for 6 years, and without going too deeply into what I experienced, because that would all definitely be in the book, and I don't think we've got enough time to go through every episode, but I was physically, verbally, racially, emotionally, and sexually abused for 6 years of my life. That's basically from the ages of, I just turned 11 till 16, getting ready for 17. It was tough. I don't know how I got through it. Well, I do know. My saviour was vodka. My saviour was vodka, and what the vodka did for me was it helped me get through the week that I just experienced, and got me ready for the following week, really, because it started off on a weekly basis. And I remember my first drink, it was in the funny kind of way, I was sort of accepted then by my own peers. It's like I'd come alive. It's like I was born for the first time at school. And this is about 6 months, or my first year at school, because we were getting wedgies on a regular basis, baseball bats crossed out, smacked on our knees. We were getting dead legs. I even had a little game of Russian roulette with one of the seniors, not knowing if it was loaded or not. It was just crazy stuff. Hanged out of windows, 10 foot high, 15 foot high, and the only thing holding me was my pants from wedgie. I mean, this was an experience that I would never have learned anywhere else. And
so that's where the extremes started to come into your life then, Surf Life.
Oh, definitely. And we felt, I think you might be able to relate to this, but in the 80s especially, there was a massive code of silence. Right? You don't say nothing. You keep your mouth shut. Mm-hmm. Otherwise it would get worse. Or you can't snitch. You can't grass. You can't sneak. Our word was called sneak, but I know grass and snitching is exactly the same thing. Yeah. So we did. We kept, so my parents had no clue. And we sort of, it was like their reason was like, this is for you to man up. This is for you to become a man. Yeah, you got to take this. This is what you do. You got. I mean, this is what was instilled in our minds. Don't forget, I'm 11 years old. Drank a bottle of vodka. While my two mates I was with, they were drinking 2 bottles of cider each. My first ever drink. Neat. Must have downed it in about 5, 6, maybe 7 gulps. 3/4 of a litre bottle of vodka. I remember it today. It was in Farnham. Boarding school was in Frensham, in Farnham, in Surrey, and I was off my face. I was gone, paralytic. I don't remember, but quite apparently across the road, went flying in, smashed my head open, got in a taxi. Anyway, got caught by the headmaster. Next thing, I'm in hospital with tubes in my stomach, getting my stomach pumped. This is my first, and this must have been a Friday evening after school, because we were boarders, and came out of it pretty quickly. It's a Sunday. I think by Sunday I was back at school, and all I was worried about is my parents finding out. Well, they were happy not to tell my parents. I was happy they didn't tell my parents. So it was great, because in those days it was £6,000, £7,000, £8,000 a year, which was a lot of money in those days for boarding school fees. Would have been a very good chance that the school would have missed out on that, especially with my first year as well. So it was in their best interest. Now I see that my parents weren't told. It was my best interest, because I felt ashamed, and I felt I would have let them down if they'd found out. So it's sort of a win-win on both sides. But obviously, upon reflection, my parents know. I'd like to think they would have taken me out of that situation immediately, and the rest that I'm going to talk about may never have happened, but it did. Stomach pumped, blah blah blah. But it was like I was the main guy at school all of a sudden. I was the guy who puked on the headmaster, the guy who had the stomach pump, the guy who happened to be started. This is when I started becoming a joker. I remember Monday as well. It was our turn to do assembly, and I changed my whole assembly script and did it on alcoholism. I thought it'd be funny because of what happened the Friday before. Again, I got punished for that. So alcohol was a saviour for me. It really was. And so basically from the age of 11, whether it was a celebration, whether it was a commiseration, whether it was getting through, I call it survival and fear, because of those two things in particular. Alcohol saved the day. Simple as that. And of course, eventually, the more I drank, the more I liked the effects it produced, the more my tolerance level went up, and from once a week, it became twice a week, and obviously education was never a part of my 6 years at boarding school whatsoever. But whilst this is going on, the dead legs were continuing, the baseball bats were continuing, the racial slur, the racial abuse is continuing, the emotional abuse, the humiliation, the stripping, the putting the snakes on your body, and the insults. It's just pure humiliation, the different kinds of sexual acts that were happening